Imagine this. Your own son, your flesh and blood, wins the lottery. Not just a few $1,000s. Not just enough for a new car. No, he hits a $55 million jackpot. You'd think he'd celebrate with you, right? You'd think he'd hug you, buy you a house, maybe thank you for raising him. But instead, he spits in your face, literally and figuratively. He tells you, backhand index pointing right, keep your filthy pension, old man, just rot and die. Yeah, that happened to me. But here's the twist that made their smug little smiles vanish. That winning ticket, the one they were dancing around with, already planning their yachts and mansions, it wasn't in their name. It was in mine. So buckle up, friends. Today I'm going to tell you the story of how my son and his wife betrayed me, humiliated me, and tried to erase me from their lives, only to discover I held the power to destroy all their dreams in one sentence. Backhand index pointing right. Was I the jerk for what I did next? You tell me in the comments. And if you love stories of revenge, betrayal, and a little sweet justice, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe, because you don't want to miss what's coming. I'm Harold, 72 years old, retired electrician, widower of 8 years. My life isn't glamorous. I've got a modest house, a pension that keeps me afloat, and a beat-up old Ford truck that rattles like my knees on a cold morning. I've got one son, Ethan, my only child. My late wife, God rest her soul, used to say, that boy is going to be the light of our old age. Well, let me tell you, that light turned out more like a house fire, burning everything in its path. Ethan married Melissa, a woman who could smell money like a shark smells blood and water. From the moment she came into his life, I was pushed to the sidelines. Dinners stopped. Phone calls stopped. And whenever I did see them, Melissa would wrinkle her nose like my very presence was lowering the value of her designer handbag. It was a Sunday afternoon when I got the call. Ethan's voice was trembling, but not with excitement, with greed. Dad, you won't believe it. We won. We actually won. $55 million. Now, I didn't play the lottery often. Just once in a while, for fun. I liked scratching off tickets, dreaming a little. But last week, Ethan had asked me to pick up some tickets since I was at the gas station anyway. I shrugged and did it. I handed them to him casually, not thinking much of it. But what he didn't notice, was that I'd never actually signed them over. The tickets were still in MY name. I expected a celebration. Maybe dinner together, champagne, hugs, tears of joy. Instead, Ethan and Melissa showed up at my house that evening. Melissa strutted in like she owned the place, dripping in fake jewelry she clearly thought would soon be real diamonds. Ethan smirked and tossed a cheap bottle of wine on my table. Dad, he said, we came to tell you something important. You don't have to worry about money anymore. You can keep your little pension. We don't need it. We're set for life. I frowned. Son, don't you mean we're set for life? As in all of us? Family? Melissa laughed, this high-pitched, ugly sound. Family? Oh, Harold, you've done enough. Honestly, you should just enjoy what time you got left. We'll handle the future. And then Ethan, my own son, leaned in and spat words I'll never forget. Backhand index pointing right. Keep your filthy pension, old man. Just rot and die. The room spun. I gripped the edge of the table. My ears rang. I thought I'd raise a son, but I'd raise a viper. They were already planning. Melissa was on her phone, calling her mother, bragging about how they'd be moving to Beverly Hills. Ethan was Googling yachts. I let them prattle on for a good 10 minutes. Then, slowly, I leaned back in my chair, crossed my arms, and said, Sweetie, did you even bother to read whose name is on that lottery ticket? The silence that followed? Priceless. Melissa froze mid-sentence. Ethan's face drained of color. What do you mean? He stammered. I pulled the ticket from my pocket. Their eyes went wide. It's in my name. Not yours. Not Melissa's. Mine. You could have heard a pin drop. Melissa's mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air. Ethan whispered, That can't be. Oh, but it is. I snarled. And you just told me to rot and die. The silence didn't last long. Melissa snapped out of her shock first. She plastered on this fake smile, her voice dripping honey. "Oh, Harold, you misunderstood. Of course, we meant you too. It's just you're older. We didn't want you to stress about finances. We were trying to be considerate." Considerate? The word nearly made me choke. 10 minutes ago, she was telling me to rot. Ethan joined in, his tone suddenly soft. "Dad, come on. You know I didn't mean it like that. We're a family. This money changes everything. We can take care of you now. Imagine retirement in Florida, a house by the beach." I leaned forward slowly, fixing him with a stare I used to give him when he was a boy caught lying. "Ethan, look me in the eye and repeat what you said. Keep your filthy pension. Just rot and die." His face went red. Melissa hissed at him under her breath. I smirked. That's what I thought. Now here's where things took a darker turn. Instead of apologizing, instead of falling to their knees in shame, they got angry. Melissa's fake sweetness cracked like a cheap porcelain doll. "You can't keep it all, Harold. You're 72. How long do you think you've got left? A year? 5? 10? You don't need $55 million. That's ridiculous." Ethan added, "Yeah, Dad. You wouldn't even know what to do with it. You'd waste it. We can invest it, grow it, make something of it. It only makes sense for us to have it." I sat back, my blood simmering. Oh, so now it's not that I should rot and die. Now it's that I'm too old to deserve money. Funny how fast the story changes. Melissa crossed her arms, glaring at me. "We're your family. You owe us." Owe them. That was a word that sealed their fate in my mind. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. My late wife's photo sat on the nightstand. "Linda," I whispered, "what would you do?" I remember her laugh, her kindness, how she always believed in second chances. But I also remember the night she cried, worry about Ethan's selfishness, his gambling, his temper. I clenched my fists. No, not this time. He's made his bed. Now he'll lie in it. The next day, my phone blew up with calls from Ethan. Texts, voicemails. "Dad, please call me back." Melissa didn't mean what she said. Let's talk this through. By evening, it wasn't Ethan anymore. It was a lawyer. "Mr. Thompson," the voice said smoothly, "I'm calling on behalf of your son Ethan and his wife Melissa. They believe there may have been a mistake regarding ownership of the winning lottery ticket. We'd like to resolve this amicably before we proceed to court." I nearly laughed his ear. A mistake? The only mistake was me raising a son who thinks he can bully his own father out of a lottery ticket. I hung up. The weeks that followed were pure chaos. Melissa showed up at my house unannounced, pounding on the door. "Harold, you're being ridiculous. Do you know how embarrassing this is for us? We've already told everyone we're millionaires. Do you have any idea what it's like to take that back?" I opened the door just enough to smirk at her. "Maybe next time. Wait until you actually have the money before you brag." Slam. Then Ethan tried a different approach. He came alone, late at night, looking tired, desperate. "Dad, I screwed up. I didn't mean what I said. Please don't shut me out. We can share it. 50-50 or 70-30. Whatever you want." I studied him. My boy, my only child. His eyes had that same pleading look he used to give me when he was a teenager caught sneaking out. But I saw something else too. Greed. Always greed. "Ethan," I said quietly, "you showed me your true colors. And I believe you the first time." His face hardened. He muttered something I won't repeat and stormed off. Here's the thing about money. It doesn't just reveal people. It reveals power. The day the lottery commission wired the winnings into my account, I felt like I'd been given not just money, but a weapon, and I decided to use it. First, I upgraded my little Ford truck to a brand new F-150, bright red, drove it straight past Ethan's house, waved as I rolled by. Second, I booked a 2-week trip to Hawaii, posted photos of me sipping cocktails on the beach, surrounded by women half my age who thought I was hilarious. Melissa's Instagram was full of passive-aggressive posts about fake people showing off, and some old folks don't know how to be humble. Third, and this was my favorite, I bought a house. Not just any house. The house right across the street from Ethan and Melissa. Paid cash. Oh, the look on their faces when the moving trucks pulled up, priceless. It didn't take long for Ethan and Melissa to stoop even lower. One morning, I went to check my mailbox and found an envelope with my name typed on it. Inside was a legal document claiming I had signed over the winning ticket to my son. The signature looked almost like mine. Almost. I laughed so hard I nearly choked on my coffee. That afternoon, I marched straight to my lawyer's office. Oh, Mr. Grant. He's been practicing law longer than Ethan's been alive. He took one glance at the paper and snorted. This is amateur hour. They'll be lucky not to get arrested for fraud. I leaned back, grinning. Good. Let's keep this one in our back pocket. I want them to hang themselves before we strike. Next, Melissa tried the pour me routine. She actually called the local police and reported that I was senile and being manipulated. She claimed I wasn't fit to handle my finances, and the money should be managed by responsible younger family members. Can you imagine? 2 officers showed up at my house. One of them, a young woman barely out of training, tried to keep a straight face as she explained the complaint. I showed them my ID, my bank statements, and just for fun, I recited the Gettysburg Address from memory. The older officer chuckled. Sir, you're sharper than most people I know. They left shaking their heads. I knew Melissa had just burned another bridge, but Ethan wasn't done. A few weeks later, I was served court papers. My own son was suing me. He wanted his rightful share of the winnings, claiming I had unfairly withheld what was intended for him. When I walked into that courtroom, I felt the weight of my late wife's photo in my breast pocket. I'd brought it with me for strength. Melissa strutted in like she was already queen of the world. Ethan avoided my eyes. Their lawyer smirked. But here's the thing about smirks. They disappear fast when truth enters the room. My lawyer presented the ticket. My name, my handwriting, my purchase, the surveillance footage from the gas station. Then he pulled out the forged document. Your Honor, he said, my client's son and his wife submitted this as evidence of forgery. Do you want to guess who made it? The judge's face turned crimson. He didn't even let their lawyer speak. Case dismissed. And a warning. Try this again and you'll face criminal charges. After losing in court, Ethan finally showed his true face. He came to my house one evening, drunk, slamming on the door. When I opened it, he shoved me back and screamed, "You ruined my life. That money was supposed to be mine." Do you know what people are saying? They're laughing at me. My wife's furious. You destroyed everything. I steadied myself on my cane, looked him dead in the eye, and said, "No, son, you destroyed everything. With your greed, with your betrayal, with your words. Remember? Keep your filthy pension. Just rot and die. Those words are why you have nothing today." He froze, tears welling in his eyes for just a second, and then he stormed out, slamming the door so hard my windows rattled. I knew then it was time for the final move. See, I could have just cut him out of my will and been done with it. I could have vanished into my millions and let him rot. But no, that wasn't enough. I wanted him to feel what I felt, the humiliation, the rejection, the powerlessness. So I drew up my own little plan. First, I made a generous donation in Ethan and Melissa's names to the local homeless shelter. Publicly, reporters covered it. There were photos of smiling kids holding "Thank you, Ethan and Melissa" signs. Except when people asked them about it, they looked confused and furious. Second, I bought the mortgage on their house, quietly, through a shell company, when they missed a few payments, because Melissa's shopping habits were bleeding them dry. I foreclosed. And the day the sheriff's notice went up on their front lawn, I walked out of my house across the street and waved. The look on Melissa's face, worth more than all the millions in the world. It didn't take long for the dominoes to fall. Once word got out about the foreclosure, Melissa packed her designer bags and stormed out on Ethan. I watched from my porch as she screeched at him, "You're a loser, Ethan. You can't even hold on to a house, let alone millions. I wasted my best years on you." She peeled off in her car, and that was the last time I saw her. Ethan? He stuck around, but not for long. Without Melissa propping him up, his so-called friends drifted away. The men who used to slap him on the back, calling him Mr. Millionaire, suddenly had better things to do. I saw him sitting on his porch sometimes, head in his hands, bottle by his side. Once, he looked up and caught me watching. His eyes were hollow. For a flicker of a moment, I almost felt pity. Almost. You know what's funny? Small towns talk. Word spreads faster than wildfire. At church, people would come up to me, whispering, "Harold, you did the right thing. Don't let anyone guilt you." They showed their true colors. Even the pastor, a man who preaches forgiveness, said quietly, "Sometimes, Harold, justice is forgiveness denied." Meanwhile, Ethan couldn't walk into the grocery store without someone muttering, "There goes a guy who tried to sue his own father." He became a joke, a cautionary tale, and he hated me for it. One night, I sat at my kitchen table with a pen in hand, updating my will. I wrote one line about Ethan. To my son, I leave the lesson that greed destroys more than poverty ever could. Instead, I left my fortune to the community center, the homeless shelter, and a scholarship fund in my wife Linda's name. Because if my own blood didn't deserve it, maybe strangers did. Maybe kid with nothing but dreams deserved a chance more than a man who already had everything and threw it away. The last time Ethan came to my door, he wasn't angry. He wasn't even drunk. He just looked broken. "Dad," he whispered, "please, just a little. I can't pay my bills. I can't." His voice cracked. "I can't do this anymore." I studied him for a long moment. My only child. The boy I once carried on my shoulders. The teenager I taught to drive. The man who told me to rot and die. "Ethan," I said quietly, "I gave you everything once. Love, a home, a family. You spat on it. And when you thought you had money, you spat again. You don't need my money now. You need a conscience." He opened his mouth, but no words came out, just silence. Then he turned and walked away. That was the last time I saw him. So here I am, 72 years old, sitting in my brand new house across the street from the ruins of my son's pride. I've got more money than I could ever spend, and I found peace in giving most of it away to people who actually appreciate it. But sometimes, late at night, I wonder, did I go too far? Sure, he told me to rot and die. Sure, he forged my signature, dragged me to court, tried to take me down. But at the end of the day, he's still my son. Maybe I should have given him one last chance. Maybe I should have extended a hand instead of pulling the rug. Or maybe justice was served exactly as it should have been. So, dear viewers, I'll ask you the question that's haunted me. Backhand index pointing right. Was I the jerk for using the lottery money to teach my son a brutal lesson? Or did he deserve every ounce of what he got? Tell me in the comments. I need to hear your verdict. And if you made it this far, do me a favor. Hit like, share this with a friend who loves a good revenge story, and don't forget to subscribe, because I've got more tales of betrayal and justice you won't want to miss. This was Harold's story. And maybe, just maybe, it's a warning. Greed can make you rich for a day, but gratitude makes you rich for life.